What is going on, YouTube? Bryce Builds It All, your favorite AMPIA and Part 147 instructor, back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to continue the so you want to become a helicopter mechanic, or not a helicopter mechanic, so you want to become an airline mechanic. The last video was so you want to become a helicopter mechanic. Now, if this interests you, stick around. So if you're unfamiliar with the series, I'm aiming these videos at somebody who's maybe already in A&P school or finishing up their A&P testing now. Maybe they're working GA, whatever it is, and they're trying to figure out the best way to get a career or start their career in the airline industry. So if you're not familiar, I teach at a Part 147 school, and I have a wealth of knowledge of other instructors that I work with, as well as some contacts out there in the industry, if you will. Now, what I will say for working for the airlines is that the pathway is often really consistent and usually the same. However, when the job industry demands it because there's been a large wave of retirements or whatever it may be, it can become a lot easier to get a job at major airlines where you might want to work. And I'll cover a little bit about that later. But here is the typical pathway to becoming a mechanic working for the airlines. So you have graduated a Part 147 school, or you somehow got an apprenticeship, whatever it may be, and you've tested for your A&P and you now have your A&P. I will say you don't have to have your A&P. You can get a job at a smaller regional airline without one and slowly but surely build your experience in your resume, but I'm not tailoring this to that. I'm tailoring this to somebody who already has an A&P. So, like I said, the pathway is genuinely pretty consistent, and you have one of two options. The first option is to go to somewhere like an MRO, something like ST Engineering. Now, I'm in San Antonio, so that just happens to be the closest MRO to me. Depending on where you're located, Atlanta, Dallas, California, I don't know what's going to be near you or around you. If you're somewhere that's sort of a desert when it comes to aviation maintenance, then that's not really going to apply to you. But anyways, you're going to have to start going to an MRO, something like that, and you're going to get a job that maybe doesn't pay as good, something like in the $20 an hour range. And I'm just spitballing. I don't know if that's true. Wages are all over the place. It's hard to keep track of where they are. But you're going to get a couple years experience working at an MRO. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll pick up a general familiarization course on like a Boeing 737 or something along those lines and sort of build your experience on a heavy aircraft, taking a couple years, taking a little bit of a pay cut, going through that 2 to 3 years to get a little bit of experience so that when you go to the next stage and they ask for experience on your resume, you have it. That's going to be the hardest part of this, is gaining the experience. The other option is to go to a regional airline. Now, if you're not familiar with what regional airlines are, or sister airlines as they're sometimes called, it's companies like PSA Airlines, Envoy Airlines. I know there's some others. Feel free to list them down below in the comments if they come to your head. But they're basically airlines that operate for a major carrier with the airplane painted in the same way as the major carrier. For example, PSA Airlines operates for American Airlines, but it's technically a different company. PSA Airlines will operate CRJ aircraft, and then obviously American will fly Boeings or something. But you get the idea. But it's a little bit easier to get a job for those regional airlines and start working for the regional airline. And again, you're still going to be union. You're still going to get all of the benefits and flight benefits that you would get as if you were an American employee. You're still going to get a pretty good paycheck, $30, $35 an hour, somewhere around there. I don't know what they're starting right now, but I will say you need to have some desire/freedom to move. And when I say that is you're going to have a much better chance of getting a job at a regional airline if you're willing to move to Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, LA, somewhere that is a major hub that they fly out of. And that's for a couple of reasons. The first reason is major hubs is where all of the support is. It's where all of the training department is. It's where all of the maintenance is. It's kind of where everything happens. So even if you were working for American or Delta or United, whoever it may be, even if you were working at a major hub or at one of those airlines, you're still going to have to do some years at a major hub before you can transfer to a smaller airport that's somewhere off base that doesn't have as many resources. Now, I tell a story about right after COVID, after a whole bunch of people retired, I had a student graduate with his A&P. He didn't have any prior maintenance experience, but he was in the military and he had some military experience. He graduated with his A&P and he went to work for, I want to say it was American Airlines. I could be wrong. It might have been Delta. Doesn't matter. He went to work at Austin Bergstrom International Airport because that's just where he was able to get hired. And he worked there for maybe 6 months and transferred to San Antonio, which is a very hard airport to get into. And he transferred to San Antonio within like 5 or 6 months and was working days, something that is almost completely unheard of just because that's what the job market demanded at the time. There wasn't anyone to fill that position, and he threw his hand up and moved to San Antonio. He might have been working nights at San Antonio. I can't remember, but it doesn't matter. But the point of that is to say that sometimes when there's a large wave of people that retires and a lot of jobs come open, you might get lucky and be able to move into one of those positions at a major airline instead of for a regional, or you may be able to even just get hired direct on at a regional, or at a major, sorry. Now, a lot of that has slowed. There was this big bubble that burst and a lot of people retired and a lot of those jobs got filled. The last time I talked about this, there was still a huge demand and we were seeing people walking out of class and basically being picked up with no experience at all. But sometimes in the off season when people aren't really retiring, they always retire around the same time, beginning of the year, middle of the year, whatever it may be. Sometimes when that job demand falls off, and people just aren't leaving, it's a little bit harder to do this. And like I said, you're going to have to go to either a smaller MRO or a regional airline, and then that means moving to a major hub. You're going to have to uproot your life and be willing to go to Dallas, Atlanta, LAX, or wherever it may be. If you're somewhere like Midland, Texas, again, I live in Texas. If you're somewhere like Midland, Texas, and you think I'll just get a job at a major carrier here. Well, that's not going to happen because I don't think any major carriers really go into Midland. I'm sure at least one does. But that's not going to happen. You're going to have to be willing to move to Dallas, Fort Worth and get a job at a major hub there. So you need to have a little bit of that freedom to, drop my stuff and move. And I know that with a wife, with kids, with family, that can be harder. And I'm not saying it's a young man's game. I'm just saying you have to be willing to do that if you want to eventually transition into a major airline at a major hub, wherever it may be. I am a little bit lucky here in San Antonio. I teach, so I'm not worried about going to work for a major airline. But I'm a little bit here in San Antonio, as are a lot of people, because we have a huge maintenance industry here. We've got Boeing, we've got Standard Aero, which is a turbine engine facility. We've got ST Engineering. We've got the Southwest, United, and American up at the airport, and so on and so forth. We just got a lot of aviation here in San Antonio. There's a very large aviation community, so they're always kind of hiring people, and you can usually find a job somewhere. Well, everybody, I think that's going to do it all for this video. I could yap and yap and yap and go on about like each individual shoot, but the honest truth is it's pretty simple. Start at a regional airline, be willing to move to a major hub, and keep your eyes out for positions when they come available at American Airlines or at major hubs. And actually, one last thing I will say on that, always, always, always be willing to take a promotion if it means moving. If they say, hey, look, we're hiring, mechanics, but in Georgia, be willing to move to Georgia. Go and see the world. You can always come back and retire wherever you think home is. But that's going to do it all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you leave us a like, leave us a comment down below if you want to see me make another one of these videos on something different. I think I might do GA next, general aviation, but I've done helicopters, I've done airlines, so if you want to see me make a video of how to get into something down below, make sure you drop that. And as always, I will see you all in the next one. Go build something and be easy.